Hello, I hope all is well wherever you are. So, today's video is about turning 35, which I did on February 28th. And I've had some thoughts since then. The first one I can think of is that I honestly don't feel like I'm 35 though. But I really couldn't put a number to what age I do feel like. It's not really a number thing as much as it is a feeling of feeling happy, youthful, content. I'm comfortable. I'm so comfortable where I am. I'm so comfortable in my skin. I'm so comfortable being Brandy fully. I make the content I make just being who I am and doing the things that I love and spreading positivity and joy to the best of my ability by just being myself. And I can just look back at the last couple years, few years, this is my third year um, into my healing journey. This is my third year abstaining, my third year in solitude. Well, I would say the solitude would be more like 2 years because there were still some ties that needed to be cut in my first year healing. So that's just a couple of numbers about my life. But like honestly, I'm just happy within myself. There are a lot of outside external circumstances. The world is a crazy place right now. There is a lot of strife happening right now. I know that. You know how every time I do these videos, when I sit down and I'm talking, I feel like I always have to like keep it in my mind, where we are in society and what is happening all over the world. But we all know what is happening all over the world. And I have to keep telling myself that it's okay to talk about you. It's okay to talk about your happiness. It's okay to be happy. It's okay to live in the light. And to not feel like you are turning a blind eye to the rest of the world. Like, I have to constantly tell myself and remind myself of this because I often do okay, I'm happy, but I know there's a lot happening. And I also know like there is nothing that I can do about the circumstances of the world. Nothing will be solved until we come together and be still. Until then, the world is going to keep circling as it has been. And until then, I will always continue to thrive in my life as best as I can because I love it over here. Okay? I've been in the dark, I've been in the light. I'm going to choose the light every time. Every single time. I'm going to choose the light. And it's an easy choice when you have experienced both. Okay? Now, I had a recent conversation with my mom, and this is about the feeling of I'm about to switch over to like life and death. So, because I wanted to talk about this in my next video, because it was just like it was an experience, and of course, you just don't know, like you don't know what's going to happen and all this other stuff. So, last week I was coming home from work, and every day that I get off, I call my mother to one, see how she's doing, because I don't typically check in during my shift, see how she's doing, and to make sure I don't need to stop to the store to get anything before I get home, right? So this day I called, she didn't answer. I said, okay, busy, whatever. I called again, she didn't answer. So I figured, okay. By the fifth call, I was anxious, worried, and pretty much thought like, okay, I don't know what I may walk in on, right? When I got home. And that's just where my mind went. And it was in that moment of just dread seeping into my body, because she never not calls me back, or at least not answer the phone. And so I just really had no other thought or excuse to give myself so that I didn't get this sense of dread that came over me. And I mean, it came over me like a weighted blanket. And so I I got to start talking to God, right? So I'm just like, Lord. And I had this whole conversation, right? And after that, like I was near tears, still haven't gotten home yet. She still hasn't called me back yet. And I know I was like less than 5 minutes from home. But because I was so scared, I was like, let me just call one more time, right? Before I get home. And she picked up the phone. And when I tell you, like, the relief, even the relief had me crying, because I was just so glad to hear her voice. I was so glad to know she was all right. I was so glad to know that I was going to be able to walk in here and she was going to be there fine and dandy. So I was talking to her a little bit, got off the phone. Then I was crying because I was just so overwhelmed with gratitude and just thankful that, we still can be in this life together, right? So, that whole experience really told me that it's like no matter how many conversations we have about life and death and losing one another, and how we would, try to move on and navigate life without the other person. Everybody dies, right? So we've had these conversations about how to be better prepared. There is nothing. You can have all the conversations in the world, and I promise you, in those seconds of feeling like it was very possible that my mother had left this world and I was about to walk into this apartment to see something like that, I could never, ever, 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 ever be prepared for that. The way my entire soul felt like it had just withered. You won't even think of those conversations. You won't even think of like life goes on and all this other stuff. Like all of that went out the window. I haven't felt sadness like that since the actual passing of my sister. And it was just so overwhelming. It was so scary. And even after all of that, I couldn't blame her. Her phone's on silence and she just, you know, forgot to take it off or whatever. And I wasn't mad or anything like that. I was just so thankful. I was just so thankful. But like that truly opened my eyes to the fact that you can have as many talks about this as you want. That has nothing to do with feeling it. You are going to have to feel it. And that's the thing that you really can't prepare for is the depths of your soul being stirred in response to, because dying is not negative, but in response to something so life changing and life altering. That means the same thing. But yeah, I had that experience and I was like, oh my God, I just couldn't wrap my mind around it. And I had to call one more time because I was like about to freak out. I had to drive home. Don't get me wrong. So I was mindful of my safety and all that. But like, yeah, that was about to be an internal meltdown for real. And God, those feelings are so effing heavy, man. I even when after I got home, I parked my car. I stayed in my car because I was just like feeling all weepy and just it was just a mix of gratitude, fear, and a touch of sadness still because I guess I had got myself so keyed up that I had to decompress. Oh my gosh. And I don't even think about this stuff too much because we just don't know what our order is for living and dying in this lifetime. You just don't know. You don't know who's going to go next. And I would like to still keep having the conversations about it because it keeps it fresh. It keeps it realistic. Um, but yeah, going through it is a totally different animal. In all honesty though, like yeah, I don't want to talk about that. I just know that if I had the choice though, in all honesty, if I had the choice, and me and my mother have talked about this, that I would rather her go than for her to suffer through more child loss. We talked about that. And because that whole thing is different. It's different for a parent to grieve a child then for a child to grieve a parent, then for a child to grieve their siblings. All of it is different degrees of grief. It's grief, yes, but it's a different feeling for each person that is grieving their loved one. I just, hmm, I would worry about leaving my mom behind. But the same could be said for when Brianna was passing too. She was worried about us and how we would handle all of this stuff and handle life and everything. But I don't have to worry about that now. Cause that stuff it just gets so heavy and it doesn't have to. You have each other now. We have each other now. We get to live now and be happy, make memories, laugh. We've been laughing so much lately. And I'm just thankful that I do get to share this part of my life with her. And yeah, just two ladies living. I'm just I'm content and I'm happy where I am right now. I have a job that I like. I'm able to pay my bills. I have reliable transportation. I'm good. You know, better is coming. I choose to believe that and trust that. And until then, I am making the best of with what I have. And I love the simplicity of my life, like so much that I now know like I'm so easy to please. And it is nothing for me to go out and just play in the sun my way and do what is feels fun for me and sharing myself through my content with what is fun to me. I am so proud of my journey in content creating because this is literally the most I've ever been consistent in posting, and that is at the start of my healing journey. And I get to just essentially watch my own growth and go back to see these moments of mine that make me smile and, fully like loving this woman that I'm seeing. And like, it's just a really, really beautiful thing for me because like it's me and all of my authenticity. And I love just being myself and just enjoying myself and feeling so loved and guided and supported. God has done so much for me. And my spiritual tribe has held me down along the way. So I stepped into solitude and like gained so much. I've never felt alone. I've never felt loneliness. I have not. And I'm talking about like now consecutive years of living in the light, choosing the light, loving myself and seeking my joy. It's been amazing. And like I really adore the woman I see looking back at me like so much. I love her down from her hair follicles to her toenails. Just got, but I love myself so much. And I have come to embrace the fact that I am the love of my life. You know, because I've said this before, like, I have never known love like this, ever. And it just makes you realize that you have everything you need right within yourself. It's just that we have so much baggage, we have so many closed doors, so much to unpack within ourselves to find the light within ourselves. And you just gotta be able to be willing to dig deep and remove that brick wall, brick by brick, brick by brick, as long as you do it and you allow the light to break through the cracks little by little. So I definitely feel like I am walking in my purpose. I feel like I am on the path God put me on that is for me. And oh my God, my mind, even the way I think is just utterly different. It's so easy to talk to myself lovingly. Affirmations are so real. And just spending time in the mirror, you know, just looking into your own eyes. I just, I love this for me. I really do. Because you know, they say that you just have to be aware of your days and what is happening in your life and how you are feeling and documenting those things, because when you go back to old journals, and I remember a journal, hold on, I'm going to find it. Okay, so I found it. So I wrote this prayer August 21st, 2022. So it says, Dear God, you know what I realize? I'm living what I prayed for. I truly am. I have so much good in my life. I am filled with joy and happiness like never before. Thank you for it all. I am so blessed and grateful. Thank you for guiding me in the abundance of clarity that's continuously bestowed upon me. This is such an incredible journey that I am experiencing. I love my life. I am making changes that are for me. I am enjoying my time, doing what I love, and creating a space to share the joy with others. It's different for sure, but I am having so much fun with it. Continue to do what you are doing. It's only up from here. I am open and ready to receive all the good you have in store for my life. Thank you, God. Brandy. And it's true. You know, you'll never know when it's going to happen, but eventually you are going to be living in the days that you prayed for. It's 5:55, which is a number about shifts and changes, and I'm just I'm just happy, and I feel like I just feel optimistic. I feel so overwhelmed with love, God's love, God's light. It's like, despite everything that is happening, it's all going to work itself out. Even if you can't see the solution, it's all going to work out. The dust has to settle. Our lives can change any instant, for the better or the worse, But I choose to place my effort and energy on the better. Mindset is everything. And once you get a shift there, it's easier to just move with the flow. Especially if you can't change it. Like, if you know there's nothing you literally can do about it, stressing and worrying and making yourself sick, it's only harming you. I just, you want so much for the world, and one day we will get together and things will change. But only until then. So until we can all be one band, one sound against these corporations and our governments, choose joy in whatever way you can. Find you some peace, find you some joy, even if you have to find them in increments or in moments. Cherish them, document them, snap a photo, so that even in your darkest times, you have something to look back to that reflects light and joy and goodness. That's my 35th year around the sun revelation. Oh my gosh. Until next time.